So what we usually do on Saturdays is talk about something that's a little bit more, concrete, sort of factual, although those constructions aren't something I'm particularly psyched about. However, it is one way to think of things, and in that vein, uh, what I wanted to throw out was this notion having to do with doing something. So I'm going to try to make this brief, not over explain it, but there's this notion that's really kind of rooted in our culture about the importance of doing things, activities, and it suggests this sort of distinction between what's happening when we're not doing things and what's happening when we are. That's really not rooted in anything that's kind of true or real. And the primary downside of it is that it creates a sort of culture of, oh, I got to be doing something. I have to be accomplishing something. This sort of fictitious kind of projection of one accomplishment, another accomplishment, and you finally end up having achieved something. And the biggest problem with it is it kind of undermines just the value of who we are, just as people. And so just something to think about, the possibility of really considering when you're invited into this place of doing something, what effect that's having on your own experience of what it's like to be in your day, and that it may be undermining possible joyous times that you could be experiencing if you weren't thinking about doing something. And sort of there's this sort of scheduled. Um, I guess scheduling is a great way to one way to think about it. This blocks of time, and this is what happens at 2 o'clock, and this is what happened. This sort of, and the thing about it. Sorry. Um, I think one of the things that I think about a lot is how it becomes a seductive invitation, and it becomes a seductive invitation because it creates this. It suggests this outcome at the other end, that once I have done these things, I will have achieved this thing, and then I will have this thing. And there's so much, especially for my generation and the generation before, of folks who did so many things that were intended to then get them to a certain place where they could then be happy or be relaxed or have joy. And really, the people in my generation, and actually more the generation before, they died before that happened. So there was this like, working, and then death. And so that time when that culmination was going to happen never happened because they were dead at that time. And so and against that notion that what we're supposed to be doing now is ticking these boxes so that we can then have this thing. And so just something to ponder around this notion of how we've come into this place of valuing this doing of things, and this notion of achievement in a way that could quite possibly undermine the joy that we might have in the moments that we're in our lives. So something to think about for this Saturday. It's a beautiful day here in northeastern New England. This is the time of year in this area of the world where the humidity goes away and the skies become these gorgeous blue, and the weather's warm but not too warm, and it's just like that kind of. Around here. This is when everybody says, "Why can't it be like this all the time?" but that's not the way things go. But anyway, so I enjoy it a great deal when it's like this, and I'm going to go out and enjoy it right now. But thank you all for tuning in, and I will be back tomorrow with a little Back to Basics Sunday, and I'll be talking about something I have no idea what it's going to be. And if you want to know what it is, you'll have to tune in then, because then we'll both know.